Stop. Okay, hello everyone. This is our second lecture by Dr. Neelakandhan on Samaveda. So today's topic is techniques of Vedic Recitation in Kerala with special reference to the Keralīya Jaiminīya Śākhā. So this actually we are very honored to hear some insightful thoughts from CM Neelakandhan, especially on Samaveda, Jaiminīya Samaveda. So we are not familiar with that Jaiminīya Samaveda. He is very expert, especially in the Jaiminīya Śākhā of Kerala version. So I would like to invite Dr. CM Neelakandhan on the dais of this lecture. So please welcome CM Neelakandhan, sir. And also I would like to invite all the scholars who are already been here, offline and online. I would like to invite all of them, the esteemed lecture by Dr. CM Neelakandhan. So I'm inviting him to deliver his lecture on Jaiminīya Śākhā. So please, sir.
Sadashiva Samarambham Sankaracharya Madhamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Parampara. Good afternoon to the scholars and audience from India and scholars from different parts of the world, different countries who are attending, including Hugo David and many other scholars who are curious to attend the program. Pranams to all. Now I have already given a lecture on the text and its arrangement, etc. of Samaveda in general, the last lecture. There I have referred to the point that Samaveda has three traditions now prevalent in India: Kauthuma, Pranayaniya, and Jaiminīya. And each tradition has different styles of chanting in different parts of India. Kauthuma, Pranayaniya, and Jaiminīya. All these points I have discussed in the previous talk. In this talk, in this lecture, I am trying to concentrate specifically on the Jaiminīya Samaveda tradition of Kerala. Regarding all Vedas, all the three Vedas, Rig, Yajus, and Sama, Kerala has preserved a very peculiar tradition, different from other parts of India, even from the nearest states, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, etc. This is a very peculiarity, very important factor, point regarding the Vedic tradition of Kerala. In Kerala, we have no Atharva Veda tradition. It is very rare. In all over India, only in some parts Atharva Veda tradition has been preserved. Other three Vedas, Rig, Yajus, and Sama, Kerala has a good tradition. Among these three Vedas, Jaiminīya Śākhā is being practiced among the Nambūdiris of Kerala from past many centuries, because Kerala, the Nambūdiri Brahmins are dominating in this region, and so what tradition of which branch of Samaveda they are following, if we have a query or if we have a search on that, we will understand that the Nambūdiri tradition of Samaveda in Kerala from past many centuries is Jaiminīya tradition. Of course, recently some settlements in Kerala from other states are there in Samaveda itself, because in the Tamil Brahmins, some settlements are there in Palakkad, Kodundarapalli, etc. And they follow not only Jaiminīya, but other traditions also. Other branches of Samaveda also they follow. Even those who follow Jaiminīya tradition, not from Kerala, scholars or traditions from other parts of South India, Tamil Nadu or Karnataka, etc. There are some schools that follow Jaiminīya tradition, but their style of chanting, though the Śākhā is the same, their style of chanting and the style of chanting of Nambūdiri Brahmanas of Kerala, they are very different, very, very unique to an extent. Kerala tradition is very different, very unique. So this is a very particular aspect of Jaiminīya Samaveda tradition of Kerala. Now, what I am presenting here within a limited space of time, 1.5 hours, that some important aspects of Keralīya Jaiminīya Samaveda recitation of Nambūdiris of Kerala. Apart from what I can present within this time space, there are some writings, very important writings regarding these aspects already published, both in regional language Malayalam and in English. Some recent very important publications have come. You can see one is in the previous lecture I have referred to, a text in Malayalam, Samaveda Darpanam. A text in Malayalam, Samaveda Darpanam, that is edited and published by Dr. K.A. Ravindran, who has worked very much, very deeply in the Samaveda tradition. Actually, Keralīya Jaiminīya Śākhā text was not published or was not printed about 2 decades before. It was in the form of transcripts, writing in paper, with the custody of the Sama Pandits of Panal. It is Dr. Ravindran who first took the effort to approach the Sama Pandits of Kerala, located in the Panyal village near Thrissur, and there was one very senior scholar, Muttathakattil, no, Neelakandhan Vasudevan Namboothiri. I will explain their importance. And the transcript was with him. And Ravindran sir, Dr. Ravindran, you can now the HOD of the director of the School of Vedic Studies in Sankaracharya University, who is also the professor in Sahitya. He actually took the effort to write down, to copy the transcripts and to bring it as a publication, printed publication for the first time in the history of Samaveda of Jaiminīya Samaveda of Kerala. Very great work he has done. This is the basic printed text, only basic printed text of Samaveda, Jaiminīya Samaveda of Namboothiri tradition of Kerala, actually. After that, of course, actually, there were 21 Samaveda families following Jaiminīya tradition in Kerala, and most of them are not keeping the tradition now. Up to the very recent times, 5 families in Panyal, they were following the tradition. Even that is now to an extent in the point of extinction, not continuing. And it is at that point that Sankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kalady, took the effort to document the whole of Samaveda chanting using the traditional scholars in 1998, after university has been started and the School of Vedic Studies began to function there. There were 5 scholars of Samaveda. These are the 5 scholars of Samaveda who were above 70s. The second one is Vasudevan Namboothiri of Neelakandhan, Mamunna. Second one. The transcript of the Jaiminīya Samaveda that Ravindran sir has published was full transcript was with him. 1,800 verses, I will explain. So, Vasudevan Namboothiri of Neelakandhan, then Vasudevan Namboothiri of Perumangattumana, then Neelakandhan Namboothiri of Neelakandhan, Mamunna, then Aryan Namboothiri of Thottammana, then one Narayan Namboothiri of Thottammana. These were 5 scholars who were proficient in the chanting of Samaveda, Keralīya Jaiminīya Samaveda in Kerala. When the Sankaracharya University started the School of Vedic Studies and took up the project of completely documenting the audio-video, completely carrying out the audio-video documentation of the full Jaiminīya Sama that these 5 Pandits can recite at that time. These are the photographs of those Pandits again. All are not with us now. At the time of recording, they were living and all of them were above 70s. Vasudeva Nambudiri of Perumangatumana, Vasudeva Nambudiri of Nelikatumana, Arya Nambudiri Totamana, Neelakandhan Nambudiri Nelikatumana, and Narayana Nambudiri of Totamana. These 5 scholars. The project of this audio video documentation, it was done in 95 hours. These are some brochures that were prepared when the documentation was being carried out in Sankaracharya University in different phases. Actually, the documentation was carried out in 3 phases. In the first 2 phases, I was teaching there in the same way as Professor of Sahitya and in terms of Vedic studies. In the first phase, the Samhita portion, Rik portion, complete was documented. That is 75 hours in the first phase. 75 hours. That the Archika portion, what we call in Samaveda, Archika portion. Then that is in the Rikswara. Then there are the higher modes of chanting of Samaveda in Kerala, Jaiminīya Samaveda in Kerala. This is the handbook. We have prepared 2 or 3 handbooks in different phases. First phase is the 75 hours documentation project finance. This is the second phase. 2015. This is third phase actually. Third phase. So first, this is second phase. School of Vedic Recitation. Samaveda audio video recording. So first phase, 75 hours, the whole Archika portion was documented. Nearly 1,800 mantras. Then after that, Archika, then Sama, Chandra, Sama, Uha, Ushani. Sama, Chandra, Sama, Uha, and Ushani. These are the higher levels of chanting of Samaveda in Kerala. These names are almost the same in other parts of India, South India, etc. also, but the style of chanting will differ in many ways that we can understand only if we know the swaras and deeply sit with the scholars and learn the style of chanting and compare the style of chanting of Kerala scholars and other scholars. That is very, very difficult. We have to do much work with the patience. Then we can understand that. So first phase, 75 hours, the total Archika portion. These 5 scholars were able to chant the full Archika portion. Then the other Sama, Chandra, Sama, Uha, Ushani. Especially Uha and Ushani, they are the highest levels of chanting. These are like the, in Rigveda, what we are familiar with the Samhita, Pada, Krama, Jata, Ratha. Samhita, Pada, Krama, Jata, Ratha. This is the way of chanting of different levels of chanting of Rigveda. Samhita, first level. Pada, Krama. These are Prakriti Pathas. Then Jata, Ratha, Vikriti Pathas. Among the 8 Vikriti Pathas, 2 followed in Kerala. In Yajus, Samhita, Pada, Krama, we call it Sandhana, then Kotta, Hosham. These are the levels of chanting of in different levels in Yajurveda in Kerala. These are all particular aspects related to the chanting of these Vedas in Kerala. So in Sama, First is Archika, that is 75 hours. Then some portions of Sama and Chandra Sama. Then the highest levels, Uha and Ushani. They are the highest levels. In the second phase, the 25 hours, the Uha and Ushani portions, not of the whole text, but selected mantras, selected stutis of Jaiminīya Samaveda that are used in Somayaga and Adhiratra in Kerala. That are used in Somayaga and Adhiratra in Kerala. In Kerala, Somayaga and Adhiratra are the two yagas, very popular, performed frequently. And in both these yagas, the Ritvik, the Samaveda Ritvik recites the Samaveda mantras in different contexts in the Uha and Ushani style. Very, very particular, very peculiar. Those styles chanted in the Uha and Ushani, they were recorded for 25 hours in the second phase. They were recorded for 25 hours in the second phase. So 70 plus 25, 95. So total, we have a recording of 95 hours. Then it was at that time that Vedic recitation was recognized by UNESCO as the intangible heritage of humanity. These two phases of recording was carried out by the funding of the university itself. No external funding was there. By that time, Vedic chanting along with Kudiyatam and Ramlila in the first stage. All the three traditions of India, rare traditions of India, were recognized by UNESCO as the intangible heritage of humanity. And based on that, Ministry of Culture, Government of India constituted different committees for protecting, preserving the traditions of all these three branches of knowledge. And for Veda also, they constituted a committee, Ministry of Culture, and for Kudiyatam and Ramlila. Now UNESCO has recognized about 12 rare knowledge systems of India as the intangible heritage of humanity. And from Kerala, after Veda and Kudiyatam, now Mudiyata they have recognized. Mudiyata they have recognized as the intangible heritage of humanity. So at that time, when the Ministry of Culture, Government of India constituted a committee, and they released fund for financial assistance for the different Vedic institutions all over India. Some good fund was distributed to the Vedic institutions of Kerala also. And Brahmaswam, Madham, Kadavallur and Union. Then there was a Samaveda Gurukulam at that time in Panyad. Then Yajurveda Pathashala in Irinyalakoda. Along with that, Tirunavaya Brahmaswam Madham. Along with that, the Department of Vedic Studies, Sankaracharya University. We also, at that time I was there, we also received a fund. Using that fund, the total recorded matter, the university decided to convert the whole matter into interactive CDs. Till that, only chanting was there. Only chanting was there. First 70 hours, the Archika portion, then 25 hours, the Samastudis in Adhiratra and Somayaga in Kerala chanted in Uha and Ushani Moon. Only chanting was there. That chanting you can just show already the first two phases. These scholars are chanting some portions related to Archika and some portions related to higher modes. You can just these scholars are not with us now. Just you can. You see, 22, 7, 97. Saturday 96, 97. Yeah, I think all of you are hearing for the first time, Samaveda chanting. Next. This is the first level. Then we can see the higher level also, a small portion.
The 27th Stuti begins. This is also from Uha.
This is Uha.
With 15 repetitions included in Paryaya Stuti. 7th, 8th, and 9th riks from the 68th oath of Archika are recited here. The riks are Yoge Yoge Tavastaram Aghagamadhyadishraval Anupratnasyaugasah. Sree Totam Aryan Nambooleri will recite the riks in the ordinary swara and others will chant them as they do in Adhiratra sacrifice. Yoge Yoge Avastaram Vage Vage Avamare Akhaya Indramu Paye Agamadhyadi Traval Ahasreni Biro Tibi Vaye Birupano Avam Anu Pratma Shurata Uve Pradin Naram Yambahuam Ira Uve.
This is the basic swara, Archika swara. Now, saying right. Repetition.
There.
Now, this is just an example. One syllable in the basic Swara. What first you have heard the chanting, that even one syllable they are elaborating for many times in many ways. This is what is the chanting of Puha. And Oshani, almost next stage. So in the third stage, third phase of recording, the whole text, now you have heard an introduction for the, so the project was for remaking the CDs with introduction, explanation, then index, which mantra, in which swara you want, Samhita or Rik or Sama or Chandra Sama or Uha or Ushani, index. And also we were giving the text of Samaveda of Kerala tradition, what they are chanting in Devanagari script and a symbol and in transliteration in English and a symbol translation in English. So this is how the third phase was completed, what we call interactive CDs of Kerala Jaiminīya Śākhā tradition. Now, this third stage, third phase of recording was completed in 2015 only. Started in 2006, 2007. It was completed in 2016. So about 15 years, the whole process. And now the whole CDs are, interactive CDs are available for those interested from the Sankaracharya University of Sanskrit with a very limited price for exchange. You can all approach there and get the CD, and you can play it in your houses and learn how Kerala Jaiminīya Śākhā is chanted. So during the process, I was there in the university up to 2012. Then our Ravindran sir completed it in 2015. And in between, during this period, what happened is that in the interactive CDs, we provided the text in Devanagari script and the transliteration in English and simple English translation. That text we published from Sankaracharya University of Sanskrit along with the CDs. This is the text. So this is the first text of Samaveda, full text of Samaveda in Kerala published nationally. The other is in other first edition is Dr. Ravindran sir in Malayalam script. This is in Devanagari with a transliteration in English and simple translation in English. This is now here in the library. And after that, again, Ravindra sir brought out another edition from National Mansit Mission, New Delhi. National Mansit Mission, New Delhi. Again, Jaiminīya Samaveda Samhita, text of Kerala, Archika, Sama, and Chandra Sama portions. 2 volumes. So now there are enough texts of Samaveda. All these happened from 95 onwards. 20 years, within 20 years. Till that time, the text was in transcript only. So the text appeared, was published in Malayalam script first, then in Devanagari with a transliteration in English and translation, simple translation in English along with the CDs, and after that NMM, National Mission for Mansit Edition. And again in the book, Sanskrit and Indological Studies published. There are some important articles related to Kerala Jaiminīya Śākhā tradition. Now you can go through all these introductions of NMM edition in the Sanskrit and Indological Studies in all these published works. Now you can get the knowledge of what is Kerala Samaveda. And in Samaveda Darpanam of Dr. Ravindran, there is about 30 pages introduction, very good introduction in Malayalam related to all these aspects. So now the study material is enough for you. Before 20 years, no study material was there. All these were in the possession of the 5 scholars, especially that Vasudeva Nambudiri, because no such work was done related to the preservation or related to the publication of this rare tradition. Now you are all very lucky. All the texts are with you and the CDs are with you. Now these 5 scholars are not with us. In 1995, 98, they started. About 20 years, no, more than 20 years. Now only 2 scholars are there in Kerala. They are descendants, one Krishna Nambudiri and one Shivakaran Nambudiri. They can chant some portions of Sama, not the full as these scholars can or could. So this is the scenario. Now based on this, so all these things are fully written and recorded in this text, especially in my articles, in the articles. So based on that, I will give some important points related to the Samaveda chanting of Kerala. Jaiminīya Samaveda of Kerala Nambudiri tradition is divided into 5 kandas. Rigveda it is mandalas, mandala, adhyaya, etc. Samaveda it is kandas. Agneya, Aindra, Pavamana, Dvadashaha, and Uttara. 5 kandas. There are a total of 112 adhyayas in these 5 kandas. This is the text arrangement of Jaiminīya Samaveda of Kerala. These adhyayas are called oaths. In Kerala, the term oath is very famous. Odikkuga. Oath, the word Malayalam. Word has come from the root Odikkuga in Malayalam, that means to impart. Odikya, parayipikya, ningale kondu chollipikya. to impart to the disciple through oral teaching. The above mentioned 5 kandas contain 12, 36, 11, 47 and 6 oaths respectively. Totally there are 1,698 rigs in the Jaiminīya tradition of Kerala. Total rigs in the Jaiminīya tradition of Kerala is 1,698. Because we stress Kerala tradition, because Dr. Raghuvira, a great scholar, he has published the Jaiminīya Samaveda earlier. In that, the arrangement and number of rigs are different. In his edition, there are about more than 1,800 verses. So all these are very important for you people who are interested in doing higher research in different aspects of Samaveda tradition of Kerala as well as other parts of India. There were 21 Nambudiri families which practiced Samaveda in Kerala. There were 21 Nambudiri families. They were spread in central Kerala and southern Kerala. Names are Nellikattu Mana, Muttathukattil Mana, Thottam Mana, Birmangadu Mana, and Korattikkara Mana, the 5 families. Centered in the Thrissur, Panyal village, Thrissur. All 5 in the Panyal village in Thrissur district. Then Mangalatheri Mana, Malamel Mana, Muriyottu Malamel Mana, Moolavellipparambattu Mana, Patiala Mana. All these are familiar, many are not now existing. Patiala Mana, Onanduruthi, Patiala Mana, Vadana Mana, Kalambili Mana, Pagalavur Mana, Pagalavur is Chitranam very part. Muthrinyota Mana, very famous. Nellipuda, Kalambili Mana, Mundaya Mana, Vadakkumanjeri Mana, Neripatta Mana, Kambrath Mana, and Kodur Mana. These 21 families were practicing Jaiminīya Samaveda of Kerala. Among these, all except in the 5 located in the Panyal village mentioned above. 5 Nambudiris. Nambudiri Illams, Nellikattu Mana, Muttathukattil Mana, Thottam Mana, Birmangadu Mana, Korattikkara Mana. All other except in the 5 located at Panyal village mentioned above. The Samaveda tradition has been discontinued years back, decades back. There was a Sama scholar in the Malamel Mana in Kidangur near Kottayam. Malamel, Kalambili, etc. were Sama scholars. In the Malamel Mana, till very recently, there was the tradition, and who was well known in Rik and Yajus also. He passed away in 1952. So after that, in Malamel Mana also, the tradition was discontinued. In all the families, the tradition has become extinct years before. Now in Panyal also, in all these 5 families, only one family, Thottam, 2 descendants, Shivagaran Nambudiri and Krishna Nambudiri. All other families, the tradition has been lost. So what we preserve now is only the documented matter of 95 hours of Sankaracharya University, remaining the Samaveda tradition, rare and important Samaveda tradition of Kerala. The 5 families at Panyal mentioned above preserved the tradition till very recent times. But at present, no members of new generation are pursuing Sama studies except 2 in Thottam family, one Shivagaran Nambudiri and one Krishna Nambudiri, due to so many reasons. That is another point for research. Why? Socio, cultural, economic, many reasons are there. Luckily, Rik and Yajus tradition is continuing, but Sama tradition is not continuing in Kerala. Jaiminīya Nambudiri tradition is not continuing in its full vigor. It is taking into account the importance of this rare tradition that the Center for Vedic Studies of Sree Sankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kalady, Kerala, came forward with the major project of the audio-video documentation of the whole Samaveda chanting that we have seen, I have discussed it, of the Jaiminīya tradition of Kerala in 95 hours. The first and second phase of the documentation was completed in 1977, 98, and 2001. First two phases. The 5 age-old scholars at Panyal, Nellikattu Neelakandhan Nambudiri, Nellikattu Vasudevan Nambudiri, Thotam Narayanan Nambudiri, Thotam Aryan Nambudiri, and Perumalnad Vasudevan Nambudiri cooperated in the project as resource persons. You have seen them. None of them are surviving now. 2 scholars in the Thotam family, as mentioned above, Krishna Nambudiri and Dr. Shivakara Nambudiri. Dr. Shivakara Nambudiri is an Ayurveda scholar also, are now continuing the tradition, but they are not able to full higher levels. They can chant it, not so proficient as the other 5. The chanting of Archika, Sama or Gramageya and Aranyaka or Chandra Sama were documented in the first phase in 70 hours. Recording of the Samastudis used in Adhiratra, 29 Samastudis, and Somayaga, 12 Samastudis in Kerala, Yaga, was done in the second phase in 25 hours that include Uha and Ushani modes of chanting. Second phase. The third and final phase of the project is being completed. Now it is completed in 2015, which is the remaking of the CDs as interactive hard disks with the text in Nagari script, transliteration, and simple English translation and simple translation in English. This is there in the CDs, and we have brought out the book separately, and we give the book also along with the CDs, the hard disks, those who are possessing it. That is text in Nagari script, transliteration in English, translation, simple translation in English, then graphics and indices, introduction, then some music, some background, attractive CDs. That is what we call interactive CDs. Very hard work we did team when I was there, and Ravindran sir and team when after my retirement. It is only because Ravindran sir was there it was completed perfectly. The documented matter is available for those who are interested in the study and research of the Vedic tradition of Kerala. This is the present status of the Samaveda of Kerala. So many traditions are there like this, in the verge of extinction, discontinuing. So that is what we have to do, at least to preserve them and try hard to continue the tradition in one way or other. That is the duty of each and every Indian citizen. We must be dedicated, we must be involved, we must be hardworking in that aspect. Then what are some important points regarding the Kerala Jaiminīya Śākhā? Some rigorous training methods were practiced in the teaching and learning process of Samaveda in Kerala. They were observed as part of the ritual related to Samaveda tradition, Samaveda education. After Upanayana, the student should observe 5 years of Brahmacharya to learn Samaveda. For all Vedas, the case is the same, but for Samaveda, because it is more intrinsic in the swaras and the swara pattern and more difficult to learn. more time is to be devoted. By these 5 years, undergoing severe training, the student can get mastery over the chanting of the Samhita part, Archika. During these 5 years, the student should observe the ritual Upakarma every year with the help of the Guru. There is a peculiar ritual to train the mind to get concentration for pursuing the study. This is for Andu Vratas. Then again, because Samaveda chanting is very elaborate, very intrinsic. So to get a mastery over it, we have to concentrate, to train our mind with concentration. So different kinds of austerities, vratas. And vrata means vrata to be observed every year, because the strength of mind, the concentration of mind should not be diverted. And vratas. Anda in Malayalam means year. The vratas or austerities prolongs for 1 year fully. And so it is called And Vratam. Are to be observed by the student during the period of Samhita Patha. Some short vratas, and vrata for 1 year complete. Then some short austerities, vratas, to be observed in 12 days, etc., are also to be practiced. This is how mental concentration is gained or practiced for mastering the rare chanting tradition. Then Gaudanika Vrata, many other vratas in Kerala, the students practiced. Vradika Vrata, Upanishadika Vrata, and Mahanamni Vrata, etc., are the 4 year-ending vratas to be observed by the student who studies Sama tradition of Kerala. Aditya Vrata is another short vrata to be observed. In this vrata, the student should do the rituals, chanting the mantras for 14 days without even taking bath. എങ്ങനെയാണ് നിങ്ങൾ വലിയ വലിയ കാര്യങ്ങൾ മാസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന് പഠിച്ചോളെ. 14 days without taking bath. That is good. That is Surya Vrata, Aditya Vrata. This is the way how you can master great things. You can become master of great things. You can divert the world according to your vision. Gaining mental strength. There is another vrata also of this kind that prolongs for 1 month, beginning from the first day of Shukla Paksha and ending on the last day of Shukla Paksha. Each portion to be memorized will be completed within a year-long vrata. Learning of a new portion or section will start only after studying the previous portion thoroughly. This is the way of mastering Veda. In the end of Upanishad Vrata, the Guru will recite the Jaiminīya Upanishads of Samaveda, which the student will carefully repeat. Learning the Upanishads by heart, according to the storas, will be done only after Samavartana. The higher modes of chanting of Sama, Uha, and Ushani also are learned only after Samavartana. The 4-year-long vrata, Mahanamnya Vrata, is also called Iran Vrata. Another peculiar vrata. What is Iran Vrata? Iran in Malayalam means wet clothes. Iran in Malayalam means wet clothes. The vrata is to be observed for 1 year, wearing wet clothes after taking bath. The whole day. Once you take bath, the wet cloth will be on our body, covering our body. And with that wet cloth, he has to chant mantras. And what is the inner spirit? Mastering all difficulties, all sorts of difficulties. Then only you can master great things. Same thing. Even Vasa. The same wet cloth should be used for 1 year. Same wet cloth. Today you take bath in the morning, wear the wet cloth till that by that time it will be dry. Next day, same wet cloth. No change. Strength. The same wet cloth should be used for 1 year. It will get wet after taking bath, and wearing the wet cloth, the Vrata should be observed. Taking bath thrice a day is recommended in this Vrata. So always it will be wet. Take bath thrice a day. So the whole day it will be wet. Year and Vrata. This year and Vrata was practiced for 12 years continuously. When the Muha Usani is such a, you have now witnessed, seen the elaboration of Swaras. So to master, to remember all these things, such mental concentration is needed, and you can gain it. You should gain it. You should practice it. Such hard and tough austerities were prescribed for the learning and memorizing the intricacies of Samaswaras in a perfect way. Needless to state, these are so difficult. And the result was that the tradition began to face the stage of extinction in the modern time. In the modern time, no one can face or able to face such difficult austerities. So naturally, in the modern period, this tradition could not be sustained. Among the 1,698 rits or mantras found in the Keralīya Jaiminīya Śākhā tradition, except more than 100, all are taken from Rit Samhita. Except 100, all are taken from Rit Samhita. The mantras found in Rigveda are adapted here for singing in the Gana style. The priest Udgata is employed for chanting Samaveda in yagas. So the rits of Rigveda are adapted here in the Samaswaras for chanting. As mentioned earlier, Dr. K.A. Ravindran, Associate Professor in Sahitya, in charge of Vedic Studies, Sree Sankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kalady, Kerala, has published Keralīya Jaiminīya Śākhā text from transcripts preserved by the Sama Pandits of Panyal village in Malayalam script. And it is published from Panjangam Pustakashala, Kunnamkulam, in 2007. In the text, appendices are there, and the list of mantras that are not found in Rigveda are given. Very useful edition. You can go through that. There is also another tradition, Devahar. There is also another tradition current among the Nambodiris of Samavedins of Kerala. They used to study the Rig. Tavedindravamam vasu tvam pushyasi madhyamam. Satra vishwasya paramasya rajasi nakishtva goshu urindavare. Rig in Sama, Kerala tradition. And its Samas, Jaiminīya Śākhā, Kerala tradition, 28, the number of the Rig. And chant is chanted instead of the Ayush Sukta of Rigveda. These are very, very intrinsic aspects of Samaveda chanting that even if I explain here, you will not follow. So you can read it, we read the portions and understand it later, those who are interested. Then Prakriti Pathas, Rik and Sama. The Prakriti Pathas of Jaiminīya Samaveda prevalent in Kerala tradition and Rik or Archika, Sama or Gramageya, and Chandra Sama or Aranyaka. These three styles are called Prakriti Pathas. The chanting in swaras of all the 112 oaths of the Kerala Sama in Rik or Archika. The three swaras, Udata, Anudata, and Swarita, are the base for the chanting of Riks in Sama, as in other Vedas. The same three swaras are used in Rigveda and Yajurveda also. But based on the Udata, Anudata, and Swarita, the chanting of all three Vedas in Kerala preserve many peculiarities, both in the Prakriti Pathas and in the Vikriti Pathas. The Gana form of the Rik or Archika is Sama or Gramageya, and Chandra Sama or Aranyaka. That is Gana portion. Always in Samaveda, the musical aspect is given more importance. So the elaboration of swaras will be near to musical swaras. The word Gramageya means that they are to be chanted musically in the gramas. The meaning of the word Chandra Sama is not clear. Many words, even now, we cannot fully understand the exact Uha, Ushani. All these words, the meaning are not clear. So there is much scope for further study and research in all these aspects. Again, Aranyaka or Aranyagana means that they are to be chanted in the hermitages in forests. There are a total of 59 oaths in Agneya, Aindra, and the Paumana Kandas together. The chanting of Riks of these oaths repeatedly in elaborate swaras is called Sama or Gramageya. In this mode of chanting, a Rik is sometimes chanted in elaborate swaras repeatedly many times. Such repetitions by may number 1 to 18. Sometimes same Sama, same line is repeated up to 18 times. That is Sama and Chandra Sama. The most important aspect in these modes of chanting is that while the chanting in the Sama in elaborated swaras is made, there is no consideration at all regarding the basic text or the meaning of the Riks. The important aspect here is the repetitions or musical elaborations. Then there are some very important aspects related to the chanting. When the text is chanted, in Rigveda, Yajurveda, etc., the reading of the text is maintained. But in Samaveda, the text is the form of the text is need not be maintained. Text will be distorted sometimes. New syllables will be added. For example, Agne, it will be chanted as Ognai, Agne, Ognai. In Sama chanting, in Rik it is not recommended. Agne, it is chanted as Ognai. Because here text is not important, only chanting is important. So that it is Vikara. In Shikshas, in Samaveda Shikshas, these are described and definitions are given to these distortions. Agne, Ognai, Vigara. Vidaye, Voyitayai. When it is chanted, it will become Voyitayai, Vishleshana. Then yo, that will become yayi, vigarshana. Then taye will be in the text. Tayayi, tayayi, abhyasa, repetition. Then grinano, havyadataye will become grinano, ha, vyada, tayayi, tayayi, tayayi. So what these things show? You see, these things show that Samaveda is more related to music. Samaveda is more related to music. In music, text is not taken as, the sequence of the text is not taken seriously. Now we have the legends of music. There are the history of legends of music. When they are chanting in the high levels of swaras, the original Sahitya was forgotten. And what they did, they began to chant, they began to repeat the swaras with the address of their house. There are great legends. But no one was bothered, because they were only following or the swaras only, not the Sahitya. So this is a particular aspect of music. There, the text is not important. The text is neglected. The text is discarded. The text is distorted. In music, the text is discarded. The text is distorted. The text is neglected. Only swara is given stress. So that is why in Samaveda, in the higher modes of chanting, text is not taken into consideration. Text is not taken into consideration. This is a very important aspect. That is why we say Samaveda is more near to music. Samaveda is more near to music. And also, in the tradition of Samaveda, there is no Padapatha. There is Archika, Sama, Chandra, Sama, Uha, Ushadi. In all other recognitions, there is Samhita Pada, Krama, sequence. Here, for Samhita, Archika. After Archika, no Padapatha. All these things I have searched. So what that shows, no Padapatha prevalent for Samaveda. Why? Because it is not concerned about the text, but it is concerned only with the swara pattern, music pattern. So what happens is that after the Archika, in the Archika, the text is elaborated. But after that, text is discarded. Text is sometimes distorted. Text is sometimes neglected. And you take page 100, you see sometimes new syllables will be added. New syllables will be added. Yes. Purusha Sukta. Purusha Sukta is chanted. Purusha Sukta, as we get in Trigveda. But you see, while chanting Purusha Sukta, many new syllables are added. Uhuva, habu, uhuva, habu, uhuva, habu, Sahasra Purusha. Sahasra Purusha is the text of Purusha Sukta. But while chanting, in the Chandra Sama style even, what happens is that new syllables are added. Uhuvahavu, uhuvahavu. How this is added? Who added this? No one knows. It is recorded there, and these five great scholars follow that. What is the reason? What is the mechanism behind this? We have to explore. Again, you see, uhuvo, uhu, uhuvau hova, uhuvau hova, uhuvau hova, tribadurdhvam udet purusha. Tribadurdha udet purusha is the Purusha Sukta, but the other syllables are added. In the way, many new things are added in the. All these show that the musical aspect is more important in Samaswaras than the text. This is why the Nuha, Ushani, I have given all these. In Nuha and Ushani, these repetitions and addings are seen more. Page number 105. Many among the 12 stutis in Somayaga, in Nuha and Ushani, the most important one is Rathandara Stuti, which begins Obhitva Shuranonumova. This is chanted in Ushani style. 17 repetitions of the Gana Rupas of Samas are found in this Rathandara Stuti, which is very elaborate and highly musical. Based on the 17 repetitions, the repetition that is Sama, 17 Samas, they say. 17 repetitions, 17 Samas. Based on the 17 repetitions, it is also called Saptadasha Stuti. The letter Bha is recurrently repeated in the Stuti many times. Bha, Bha, Bha. It is believed that the wife of the Yajamana should not hear. This is in between the Yaga. So it is believed that the wife of the Yajamana should not hear the repetition of Bhakara, Bha, 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 while chanting, as it is frightening to her, and it will cause inauspicious results. So there is a custom to make loud noise beating on the mouth of a jar, because wife should not hear the Bha repetition. It being tightly closed with animal leather to avoid the wife of the Yajamana from hearing the Bhakara repetition. These are all followed in Stuti, in Yaga. Like the Rathandara Stuti in Somayaga, there is a Sama Stuti in Adhiratra, in the Keralīya. All these are particularities of Kerala Jaiminīya tradition, Kerala Vedic tradition also. Keralīya Jaiminīya tradition called Brihat Stuti, which is included in the Ushani. This is more elaborate and most important Stuti in Sama Stutis. This is the Brihat Stuti referred to in Bhagavad Gita. Vedanam Samavedosmi Brihat Sama Tatha Samnam. Vedanam Samaveda. Bhagavan Krishna is Samaveda among the Vedas. And among the Sama Stutis, Bhagavan Krishna, the most significant point or is Brihat Sama. This is the Brihat Stuti. Brihat Sama Tatha Samnam. Stutis of Samaveda like Rathantaram are used not only in yagas but in tantric rituals also in many contexts. Similarly, there is a stuti in Samaveda called Gayatram, which is based on the Gayatri included in Ushani. This is also used both in Adhiratra and Somayaga as well as in tantric rituals. Thus, there are many peculiarities of the chanting of Samaveda and its Prakriti Vikriti Pathas of Keralīya Jaiminīya tradition. Then, very important point to be concluded. As already noted, this is in the previous articles, this is in the article in the book. The 7 swaras of classical music can be found in Sama chanting in their primitive form. Now we are discussing the relation of Sama chanting, particularly Uha Ushani style with music. There are strict rules for the swaras of Sama songs. Variations in swaras are also allowed sometimes. Such variations are called Pratyutkrama, Atikrama, Namana, etc. In Keralīya Jaiminīya Sama chanting, the movements of the right hand upwards, downwards, and sideways for denoting the swaras are practiced. Udatta, Anudatta, Swarila. In some other tradition of Sama chanting, the thumb of the right hand is touched in different parts of the other fingers to denote the swaras. So what happens is that the total body movements while chanting Sama, hand gestures, then fingers, hand gestures, the total body movement. So this is called Gatra Veena. This is called Gatra. The whole body is like a Veena, like a flute, Veena. From Veena, musical notes are produced. In the same way, the whole body is conceived as a Veena, and the swaras are produced from the Veena, which is the body itself. So this concept reveals the fact that Sama is very close to music. So the neglecting of the text, the elaboration of the swaras, distorting of the text, elaboration of the swaras, and the concept of Gatra Veena. All these point to the fact that it is very close to music. According to Keralīya Jaiminīya Sama tradition, there is no Padapatha for Samaveda. That I explained earlier. I think it is the same case with all over other parts of India also. No Padapatha is practiced for Samaveda, I think. Recently, some scholars say that they are using, that is only the present practice, as I understand. Rigveda and Yajurveda have Padapathas as one of the Prakriti Pathas after Samhita Patha, Samhita Padakrama. But Samaveda has no Padapatha after Rik and Archika, Rik or Archika. It has other musical elaborations like Sama or Gramageya, Chandra Sama or Aranyaka and Uha and Ushani. This also shows that it is more related to music. In music, especially in classical music, the original text or the basic words or literature of the composition, Kriti, is often neglected or discarded, while the ragas are elaborated in singing. Ragam is the text, observe. In Abhinaya Sangeeta, it is different because it should be enacted according to the meaning. But in free music or the Carnatic music, no need of depending the text. Tarala Mehta, in the book Sanskrit Play Production, Tarala Mehta is a very great scholar. Her very celebrated, very famous book, Ancient Play Production in Ancient India, observes that music is of 2 types, Gandharva and Gana. In Gandharva, words are less important than the swara and tala. In Gandharva, pure music. In Ghana, words are more important. That is Abhinaya Sangeeta. In Ghana, words are more important. That is Abhinaya Sangeeta. Than swara and tala. In Gandharva, that is pure music. Ghana and tala are important. In Ghana, that is Abhinaya Sangeeta. That tala and swara are important next to me. So these are the differences. Sir, you can work more on all these aspects. Gandharva is more classical, while elaboration of swaras and talas and its earlier phase of and it is the earlier phase of Carnatic or Hindustani music. This Gandharva is the earlier primitive form of Carnatic music. Primitive form, earlier form of Carnatic music. Thus, the various points of relation of Sama chanting to classical music in different aspects are interesting topics with great scope for study and research. Another aspect also, Kudiyatam, the unique Sanskrit theatre preserved and stayed in Kerala, practices a particular kind of Vajika with swaras. In Kudiyatam, they use Vajika, all in swaras. The characters in Kudiyatam recite the text with such swaras according to the bhavas and rasas presented related to the characters and situations. These swaras used in Vajika of Kudiyatam is a peculiarity of this art form, which is not found in the Sanskrit theatre elsewhere. This swara in Vajika, different swaras are used in Kudiyatam, which are Mudhan, Sriganthi, Tonda, Arthan, Indalam, Muralindalam, Veladhuli, Danam, Vitarkan, Veeratarkan, Tarkan, etc. These are called ragas also. In Kudiyatam, these are called ragas also, though some of the names are similar to those familiar in classical music. These swaras or ragas are more related to swaras in the chanting of Vedas in Kerala. Because Kudiyatam is from Kerala, the swaras in the Vajikam of Kudiyatam is related to Vedic swaras. Which Veda again? Recall Yajasa Sama. Sree Appakutan, who was an authority in Kudiyatam, opines that the swaras in the Vajika of Kudiyatam are influenced by the swaras of Yajurveda chanting of Kerala. One scholar. The present writer, myself, has organized many workshops and seminars with Kudiyatam artists, music scholars, and Kerala Veda Pandits, and discussed the matter many times with oral demonstrations and interactions. As a result, it could be concluded that the Vajika of Kudiyatam has been influenced not only by Yajurveda chanting of Kerala, but it has the influence of the chanting of the other Vedas of Kerala also, like Rik and Sama. Topics like the impact of the chanting of each Veda on the swaras of Vajika of Kudiyatam, if any, etc., has yet to be studied and explained. However, the overall impact of the chanting of Veda of Kerala on the Vajika of Kudiyatam is very evident. We cannot conclusively say that this particular Vedic swara has influenced Vajika in Kudiyatam. We have to explore the matter further. So with this, I conclude my presentation. Some important aspects related to Samaveda chanting of Kerala, its intricacies, its elaborations, relation to music, etc. I have tried to explain. Thank you all. Now we have 10 minutes for interaction.
Thank you, sir. So, I would like to invite first online scholars who have some questions. Please raise your hands and ask questions. Please. Okay, there is one Kiran Sampath who already asked one question. Then, sir, shall I read or?
I have explained in my paper that we cannot say that the Jaiminīya Samaveda chanting tradition among the Kerala Nambudhiris has completely extincted. There are two scholars now I referred to in my lecture, Thotam Shivagaran Nambudhiri and Thotam Krishna Nambudhiri. They are able to chant the Samaveda. And again, one more is there, Sree, Muttathagatil Sree Nambudhiri. All these three, not two, three. They are proficient in chanting Samhita portion, Archika, and some portions of Sama also. But the whole Uha Ushani portion, they have yet to master, as I understand. But the recorded matter is there in the university, and using that they can master it. And the live tradition we can continue. And also Shivagaran is trying to teach the Samaveda to some disciples there. That is also welcome and to be encouraged. Thank you.
Anybody else online? Please raise your hands and ask questions.
Hello. കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
Okay,
Can you hear me? Sir, namaskaram. Namaste. This is Sharma from Pondicherry. Sir, thank you for your interesting lecture. As you know, we discussed with the Kalady University regarding these recordings to made available for all. So some discussion was going on, and we encouraged some of our scholars even to send a letter to the university, which has been done also. So could you give us little more information whether this is finalized? If so, can this be made available now? What is the present status, sir?
Sharma, thank you for your query. Now, myself, though not in the university now, myself is fully after the effort, and Ravindran is there taking more interest in the matter. Now, as I understand, 1 week before I was discussing with Mr. Ravindran, and the whole matter is now almost ready for distribution with the prescribed exchange value they have decided. Only the preparation of the brochure based on the newly revised, finally revised matter is there pending, and within 2 weeks it is hoped that we can be able to get the matter, and we are after that, Sharma.
Thank you, sir. Hugo wanted to ask something. Hugo, please.
Hugo, please.
Thank you. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for this lecture. This is really interesting. of course, I renew our interest in Deepika even before the copy of the full recording goes online to purchase a copy from university. That would be really nice to have that document. I have a small question. You mentioned so the families of Jaiminīya Samaveda in Panyal. So the 5 families that remain, that preserve this type of chanting. And I'm quite interested in the difference between this case and the case of the Vadhula Śākhā of Yajurveda, because in that case we have more families, but only 2 families have manuscripts from Neelakandhan. But in the case of Panyal, it seems all 5 families have manuscripts, so it's complete match between people who preserve the chanting and have manuscripts. So I wanted to ask, do you think there is a chance that other Jaiminīya families preserve manuscripts out of Panyal, or is it completely excluded?
Thank you, Hugo. Now, regarding the manuscripts of the Sama texts or literature or chanting materials, yet now we are not able to locate manuscripts in these 5 families. Because many in 1978, 79, 80, when I worked with Choka Kluchkar in the mission of the manuscripts, searching the manuscripts for his purpose. Then at that time we have gone to all these families, and exactly we cannot locate any important manuscripts in these families. Only Ravindran could locate this text of Jaiminīya Sama. Maybe there in the families even now, but there are so many difficulties to approach them and to get them ready for our verification. That is what I have experienced. We will try for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kiran, please.
Yeah, sorry. My earlier question that I asked was particularly relating to Jaiminīya Brahmana. If you could talk a bit about that, if possible.
Jaiminīya Brahmana, I am not aware of this situation. I have worked on Kaushidagi Brahmana and the Kaushidagi Brahmana of Rigveda. There is a tradition of chanting tradition of Kaushidagi Brahmana in Swaras in Kerala, which was known to Erkara Raman Nambudiri decades before. After Erkara Raman Nambudiri, it was not continued, but recently the present seniors, one of the present senior scholar of Rigveda, Ravindran Nambudiri of Naratamana, he, with his effort, now the Kaushidagi Brahmana chanting in Swaras of Kerala tradition has been again is being practiced, and that is with the funding of the South Zone Cultural Center, Tanjavur. And now it is recorded, and Ravindran Nambudiri is able to chant it. This is the same case with Taittiriya Brahmana of Yajurveda also. Now we have scholars Pandal Vaidik and Damodaran Nambudiri, a very senior scholar, and Animangalam Subramanian Nambudiri, 2-3 scholars. They are very aged scholars, very skilled scholars. But I am trying for past many years, many decades, with great enthusiasm and effort to get some projects for recording that. But I was not successful till in IG and CA, many places I am trying. But if a good project is sanctioned for recording them, that at least will be retained. Regarding Jaiminīya Brahmanam, I am not aware now. We have to inquire its situation again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, did Kiran, you introduce yourself, or if so?
He is
No.
Kiran?
I think it's good I mentioned that we have two young scholars, Kiran and Nikhil, who are here. I think they just disappeared. I don't know. But both are there. So I think interestingly, they too are computer software engineers working outside India and very much interested with our Vedic literature and Vedic tradition, and especially very much interested with the Kerala tradition also. So I think they are trying to help scholars with data and necessary information. I think their contribution is going to be very helpful for us for further studies. Maybe they will come up with a project to support you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Then we will do the Taittiriya Brahmana first. By the time we will inquire about the Jaiminīya Brahmana. I will interest Murali and Devahar to locate, to study the situation and how we can proceed with that. Taittiriya Brahmana, I know the situation. For Jaiminīya Brahmana, was there any tradition in Kerala among the Sama Pandits? Now, is it continuing? Was it there earlier? We have to research. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The question, message.
Nambudiri scholars. In bottom.
Right.
Thank you for 90 first stall recorded 12-day ritual by the Nambudiri Brahmana. Stall's recording is Adhiratra. Stall's recording in 1975 is the complete proceedings of the Adhiratra 12 days of Kerala's tradition. And that is, he has published the large volume, Agni, in 2 volumes. In the first volume, the complete proceedings in one volume, the complete proceedings of the 12 days of Adhiratra is recorded. And in the other volume, detailed study on the history of Kerala Yaga tradition, yagas that were conducted within 100 years before 75. All these valuable data study part is there in one volume, and complete documentation of the, not audio video, but textual proceedings are documented that is, in 1975, a yaga was performed, historical Adhiratra yaga, historically important, was performed in Panyal in Thrissur district, and it was performed with a international committee of scholars, where Stahl was there, and many scholars from Japan and other parts of India and in Kerala were there, and it is the documented matter. Not related to sound.
Sir, excuse me. I think what the question I just confirmed through chat. What scholar wanted to know is how your recordings that you mentioned is related, because she thought it may be an extended ritual. So you have to explain that it is not based on ritual, but it's a collection of recordings. You know, she is asking about your recordings, whether it is a extensive ritual of what Stahl did. I think you have to differentiate these two.
Kalady University documentation recording is only the chanting of all modes of Samaveda. Now, any ritual part we have tried. Samaveda, Keralīya Jaiminīya Samaveda, chanting, Archika, Sama, Chandra, Sama, first 70 hours. Then Uha, Ushani, selected mantras, selected portions, Uha and Ushani, used in Adhiratra and Somayaga in 25 hours. No ritual aspect we have tried. Am I clear? Sharma?
Now it's clear, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Anybody else online?
Yes.
Yes, there is one.
And the third question.
Yes. Professor Papola has mentioned that Jaiminīya Vigridi Patha in the Tamil and Nambudiri tradition differ around 30. That I have already explained in my lecture. I have concentrated in Kerala Patha only, and the Kerala Patha prepared, the edition prepared by Dr. Ravindran, that contains 1,800 something, 600 something mantras, and it is the text arrangement and the mantra, number of mantras differ from Tamil, that I have already explained. Why the difference? How the difference we have yet to study. Difference is there, and I refer to Raghuvira's edition also. Raghuvira's edition of Jaiminīya Samaveda, which is again there is some difference in the arrangement of the text and in the number of mantras. That is there. We have to explore more on the matter.
Anybody else? Online? Or maybe I can move to offline stories, not one. Questions? Anybody else who have questions?
നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മലയാളത്തിലും കേൾക്കാം.
I have one question that you mentioned that Dr. Ravindran published 2 books of Jaiminīya Śākhā from NMM, right? 2 volumes.
From NMM.
There mentioned only Archika, Sama and Chandra Sama. No Uha and Ushani, right?
Because Uha and Ushani, it is very difficult to write this Swaras intrications. Our own wish or our own vision, we had in our thinking. I don't know whether we can found any way to do that. We should notate these things. We should be able to notate these things. Only then we can record Uha and Ushani. Because it is not related to text. Up to Sama, Chandra, Sama, they are based on text. So, Uha and Ushani, it is a elaboration of Swaras. So, just we can Uha, Uha, Uha. And other thing is that Uha and Ushani, even at the time of the recording of the documentation of the text at Sankaracharya University, even these 5 scholars, at that time, the authority, now not with us. Even they are not able to chant the Uha and Ushani of complete Samaveda. Only the studies they are able to reproduce. Because they are only in use. Because Adhiratra and Somayaga are often performed and they chant these studies in Uha and Ushani. So, at that time itself, the rest is lost.
So you mentioned the 3 scholars who now they can chant at least some portions of. Yeah, they can recite or they can chant some portions of Uha and Ushani or not?
They are able to, because that is when they are ready, if they are ready to practice, if they are ready to take effort, with the help of the documented matter of university, they can go forward. They can go forward, mastering according to their will and effort. Because the matter is here now, at least of the 25 studies.
Anybody else?
recordings and the recordings are some extracts from the documented matter of Sankaracharya University, which I had in my personal collection when I was professor there. That is actually that is a property of the university, but already as it has been exhibited here. You can see that, and the book, it will be the details. The Murali or Devahar will put in the site afterwards. Publication detail, that they can do. The other is only some extracts, just to show a sample. The full video or full documented matter you will be able to get within 2 weeks. It is open. Anybody else?
So you told about the Jaiminīya Brahmanas, which are being practiced by Kerala Brahmins. Do the other Brahmins in Kerala also practice the same? In Kerala, other Brahmins other than Kerala Brahmins, I mean the Tamil Brahmins, do they practice the same? നമ്പൂതിരിമാര് ചെയ്യണമെന്നാണല്ലോ പറഞ്ഞത്, അല്ലാതെ തമിഴ് ബ്രാഹ്മിൻസിന്
in Kerala there are Tamil settlements, Palakkad, Kodundarapalli, many places, and in the Tamil settlements there is Jaiminīya Samaveda and other Gauthama also. But their chanting is entirely different when compared to the chanting of the same Jaiminīya of Kerala. How this particularity is there, how it is practiced, that is a great thing yet to be explored. In Advaita, Saint Jadaratha, these two modes of chanting, how they were in the way what they are doing in Kerala, only here it is practiced. Two scholars sitting face to face in the Gopudasana and elaborating the swaras in Jata and Ratha, not found in other places. So there are so many unique things in Kerala, like Kudiyatam, like our percussion, like that. That is why we call Kerala God's own country. Many things blessed by the gods, very unique. It is in the same way, this chanting tradition also. Yes, related to Samaveda, there are Brahmanas, Nigas, etc. And they are not memorized and chanted according to Swara citing. That is, I am not fully aware about the Jaiminīya Brahmana, whether in any place in India the tradition is there. But in Kaushiriya Brahmana and Upanishad we have traditions. Like that is related to Samaveda, I am not aware. We can check it. We should check it. Any questions? If not, then I would like to invite Mrs. Ushas to deliver the thank.
Respected Dr. C.M. Neelakandhan sir, distinguished guests, scholars from online, here participants and dear friends. On behalf of Vadakke Madham Brahmaswam, Vedic Research Center, Thrissur, I extend our heartiest gratitude to everyone who contributed to the Success Today lecture. C.M. Neelakandhan sir, on techniques of Vedic recitations in Kerala with a special reference to the Keralīya Jaiminīya Śākhā. We are especially grateful to Dr. C.M. Neelakandhan for delivering such an enlightening and insightful lecture. His deep knowledge shared to all, like Nambudiri tradition and families, Samaveda Śākhā, other branch of Samaveda following, chanting, text of Samaveda, sufficient scholars of Samaveda, documentation, and ritual practice techniques also, etc. His scholarly presentation have enriched our understanding of Kerala Vedic traditions, Samavedic tradition. We sincerely thank the Bigger Project and all collaborating other institutions of their support, organizing lecture this series. Our appreciations also goes to the organizers, coordinators, and all friends' dedicated effort to smooth conduct this program. We again thank all the participants, both in person and online, for their active presence and engagement. This lecture should be inspired for the study and preserve the Kerala Samavedic tradition, and our current works survey and cataloging also very helpful. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Murali,
Sorry.
you could mention that the lecture will be available in YouTube, you know. You can just explain how to